Shalom, everyone. Here's a thought for the week. We all know the joke about the guy that wants to join the Jewish country club. He's not Jewish. And he doesn't know what to do. He asks his Jewish friend, what should I do when they ask me what I do for a living? He says, tell them you make the talis. So he goes around and plays 18 holes. And then Irving Cohen comes over to him at the end and says, what do you do for a living? Who are you? You seem new on the golf course. He says, yes, my name is Moshe. And what do you do for a living? He says, I make the talis. He says, I was always wondering what it says, those Hebrew words, on the collar of the talis. What does it say there? So the man was stuck. He says, I only make the sleeves. So this week's Torah portion talks about the talis. And in the talis, it says, if you look at the tzitzis, you'll remember all the commandments of God. There's 613 commandments. How are we going to remember all commandments? So if you look, there's 5 knots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 8 strings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 13. Now, the word tzitzis in Hebrew is tzaddik, yud, saf. Those numeric value of those letters is 600. So the word tzitzis is 600, the 5 knots and the 8 strings is 613. When you look at the tzitzis, you remember the 613 commandments. Great. That's why we have the tzitzis. Why do we need the talis? Why do you need the actual part that the tzitzis comes out of? So the interesting thing, spiritually, when you wrap yourself with something, that represents something as opposed to going inside of you. Like food, we eat and we digest. Something you wrap yourself with means something you can't digest. Spiritually, what that means is we don't understand it. We have to recognize that the tzitzis, when the tzitzis, the commandments, are recognizable that they're coming from the talis, something we can't understand, in other words, that we're doing it because God says to do the commandments, that's when the tzitzis means something. The tzitzis without the enwrapment doesn't mean anything. We have to accept the commandments of God, not because we understand it, because that's what God wants. Someone might say to themselves, as a Jew, I'm supposed to be closed on Saturdays, my store. What about my competition? They're open on Saturdays, on Shabbat. Or I'm supposed to pray in the morning every day, and that's an hour less of my time. Or I'm supposed to not cheat, and I'm supposed to be honest in my business. How am I going to compete with everybody else? The answer is, when we know that we're doing the mitzvahs of God because God told us to do so, that tzitzis are coming out of the talis, and we leave our comfort zone to do the right thing, even if it takes more time. God leaves his comfort zone, so to speak, and blesses us with health, nachas from our children, and lots of prosperity. So you want to make more money, you want to be happier, recognize that the tzitzis comes from the talis. We follow the words of God, lighting the candles, putting the tefillin on, whether it makes sense, we're in the mood, not in the mood. It's when we connect to God above nature, then God gives us above nature and blesses us even under the most dire circumstances. We will be blessed with everything we need. But we'll be blessed with happiness and health, and the most important thing, the blessing of Mashiach now. Candlelighting in Camarillo is 7:53. This coming week, we're going to have a special program in honor of the yahrzeit of the Rebbe. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful Shabbos.